Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
What brings you to Intersolar?
Well, ENGIE is a global player in the energy business, so it's normal for us to come and meet potential stakeholders.
Is there a typical kind of investment, or do you have a pretty diverse portfolio?
As ENGIE, we are, let's say, technology agnostic. So we are trying to develop mainly low carbon power plants, which means that we are focusing on gas-fired power plants and renewable power plants. And in this region, let's say until recently, we have merely been focusing on the conventional part of the business. Now we are also looking at opportunities in wind and solar. So for example, in Egypt, we have been looking at wind and solar projects. In South Africa, we have been quite successful in CSP lately. So this is just an illustration of the move of ENGIE towards cleaner and more sustainable energy solutions.
What are your next steps?
Well, I think the next steps are to continue in this way, in the sense like we want to go into new markets, so new countries, which offer the opportunity for IPPs in renewables or gas. And on top of that, we also want to be more active in energy services. So traditionally, we have been very successful in developing energy services in Europe. And now we also want to deploy those activities more in this region as well.
Are you favouring any one technology over another?
Not really, in the sense that we are not an original equipment manufacturer, so by default we are technology agnostic. So depending on the tender documents and the type of concession we are looking at, we'll select the best technology for that particular tender.
What are your sort of biggest takeaways from Intersolar this year?
The biggest takeaways are that, let's say, solar is here to stay, in the sense that a few years ago when people went to WFES or to Intersolar, there was only little to few people visiting, like usually industry experts. If you walk around these days, you see policymakers, regulators, you see developers, you see original equipment manufacturers, EPC contractors. So people know that the renewable, let's say, revolution is here to stay now.
What does the future hold?
I think the future will be, let's say, more sustainable with more renewable energy. But I think we also need to look at it from a broader perspective, in the sense that it doesn't stop just at production of renewable energy. It also goes into developing sustainable cities. If you look at the world today, more than 50% of the people are living in urban areas. So that also opens opportunities for companies like ours to develop other types of services, whether it's public transport, which could be, let's say, restructured in such a way that it becomes more sustainable. Whether we look at how people are mobile in today's world, probably likely shifts towards electrical vehicles. So how can we as ENGIE contribute to, for example, charging points? How can we think about smart parking solutions and the like? So we have just seen the beginning right now.
Are you on a development trajectory to start looking at researching or deploying those sort of technologies?
I would say that we have already gone one step beyond that. So if you look at ENGIE today, we have already taken a few positions in, let's say, developing new business models. Just to give you one example, so we have been investing in green search in the United States, which gives you a good view about what the future could hold for behind-the-meter storage.
Are there any particular technologies that are exciting you?
From my perspective, I'm still, let's say, looking at large-scale utility projects. So these are the grids connected large-scale projects, whether it's conventional or renewable power. When it comes to renewable, it can be anything from CSP, PV to wind and even geothermal.
Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.